Hey everyone, welcome back. Do you have an LG refrigerator that looks like this and you're getting the CFE error code as you can see displayed right there? Well, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to diagnose and repair. So this customer called me and said, hey, my fridge isn't cooling. It's got this CFE error code, come take a look at it. First thing is we need access to the back of the fridge. So you're going to have to pull it out. Luckily this customer had it in the garage, so it was very easy access. Next thing you're going to want to do is unplug it, and then you're going to want to take those 4 Phillips screws out. What I like to do is leave the water line connected and rotate the back cover around it, so that way I can still get good access. You can see there I'm touching the fan, so that right there, that is the condenser fan and the compressor fan. Essentially it pulls air through the condenser coils and then blows it over the compressor, and that allows airflow in the back. So I'm just spinning it by hand with my fingers there. As you can see, I'm trying to test mechanically if it's seized or if it's free moving. You can kind of already see there that it's not moving very good. So this customer did leave it plugged in because they wanted me to see the error code. I got my little temperature gun here, so you can see the ground in the back of the fridge is roughly 82-83 degrees, whereas the compressor is about 200 degrees. So that's a bit hot there, actually hot to the touch. So that's not good for the health of the compressor or the system. Next thing what I do is I pull off the actual fan blade so that I can actually physically rotate the shaft of the fan motor, and I can feel that it's seized. So right now I already know that it's the fan, just based on those physical troubleshootings. However, for you guys, and to be thorough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check voltage. So say your fan is freely spinning, but it's still not actually moving by itself unless you physically move it with your finger. Well, this is the next step you'd want to take. You'd want to measure voltage at the fan or at the load. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting my little needle point test probe, so that way I can back probe into the connector of the fan, make sure we got voltage. You can see I'm putting on my gloves there. There is a lot of sharp edges on the inside of the cabinet here, so I typically always recommend people wear gloves. Now, yes, I didn't wear them just to take the back panel off, but as soon as I start reaching in there, I like to put them on, because that bottom lip down there, all the way at the bottom, I've cut myself on that a few times, and I don't want you guys to have that same accident. So this can be a little bit tricky, especially with these little needle probes, but I bend them at an L and then I push them up into the different wires. So you could see there we had 6 volts. Now I'm going to check a different pairing of them, a different wire, because what I'm looking for is about 12 volts. So as you could see there, for a second I had 11 volts. The leads are backwards, which is why it says negative, but you can see right there 11.7. So now we know we have voltage going to the fan, however the fan is not moving. So I go ahead and I unplug that refrigerator. Alright, and you guys are in for a treat today, because this was actually 2 separate days. I had to order that fan motor because I didn't have it with me, but luckily you guys get to see me put it in one video. So here we go. We got a genuine replacement motor. This one actually is a little bit different than the original. I'm inspecting it right now to see, because this new one, it actually has the motor and then it has a connector harness that goes into it, whereas the old one, it's all in one. It's a motor with wires coming out of it. So I'm a little bit confused there. I got to wrap my head around that. Now this is a little pro tip. I like these little 90-bit adapters. They help me get in places like this. So what you're going to want to do is unplug the fan, and then there's a little zip tie there you're going to have to cut. And something that I've realized that's helped me a little bit is instead of trying to get in there and cut it, where you accidentally might snip the wires, which I guess in this case it doesn't matter because we're changing it, but what I like to do is grab it with my needle nose pliers and then twist it, and then that way the plastic snaps instead of actually trying to get in there with cutters and risk cutting a wire. So now we got that zip tie off. We're going to go ahead and unscrew those 4 Phillips head screws, and then that should free up the old motor. And there you go. You can see there I'm trying to rotate it and that thing is just not moving. There's our new motor. I was just inspecting it. I like to make sure that it's an exact match. And here what I noticed is the new motor actually didn't even have threads, which, you know, isn't a big deal. It's just plastic. So I try to thread one in there and I'm like, yeah, this ain't going in. So then I realized, okay, you know what? Instead of trying to do it all at an angle away from me, trying to thread it when I screw them in, I said, you know what? Let me just take the extra few seconds, pull it out, and go ahead and create some threads with these screws. So this is almost like another video that I did where I replaced the door hinge bracket on a Whirlpool washing machine. But this one's actually easier. So you just take the screw, you line it up straight, and then you run it in and back it out. And then there you go, you got threads. So I'm doing that for all 4 of these holes on this motor. You can see there on the screw gun that the chuck is set pretty low. That way I didn't want to risk breaking these little plastic threads. So I'm just, like I said, I'm screwing it in and unscrewing it, you know, just so that way it's nice and smooth when I go to actually install it. They just thread right in, which you're going to see here in a second. Yep, they got somewhere to go now. They go in smooth. So I prefer to do that the way I did instead of actually, you know, trying to create the threads and just screwing it in as it's in there at an angle. I didn't want to risk breaking the plastic or anything. So now I got them all started. Now I can snug them up. Alright, so now we got that in. I went ahead and shook it a little bit just to make sure it was nice and tight. What I'm going to do here is I'm just wiping off the fan blade. I figured, hey, you know what? Might as well just wipe it off real quick. And this one's pretty easy. You just pop it on. Just get it lined up with the shaft and slide it right on. Tried to get you guys a good angle there. Yeah, look at that. That is free spinning good now. And this was a little bit tricky. So this new wire harness was quite a bit longer than the other one. So you're gonna see me kind of messing around with it, trying to route it, figure out the best way how to route it and how to keep it from getting in the drip pan, as well as keep it from getting caught up in the fan blades. Because I basically, what I do and what you're going to want to do is kind of envision what's going to happen after you button it up, what's going to happen when you're done. So instead of just like leaving it hanging around, I was thinking, okay, well, there's a high chance that might get caught up in the fan blades, or that might dip down into the water and something might happen to it. So like I said, I kind of had to mess with it a little bit to find the ideal placement for it. So here I am. I always keep a few zip ties in my bag. Usually, if I can, I'm one of those kind of reduce, reuse, recycle kind of guys. So some of the projects that I do, I'll be able to cut a zip tie and it'll still have a few inches left on it. And in that case, I'll put it in my bag for situation just like this where all I need is just a little bit of zip tie. I don't need tons of it. I just need like a tiny little zip tie. So yeah, you're gonna see me mess around with that for a second here. You know what? I just want to take a second to thank all of you, give all of you a shout out. Thank you everyone who's been supporting this channel. I appreciate all the positive comments. I've actually been getting a few lately that have really made my day and helped encourage me to continue posting. So thank you. So what I end up doing here is I actually end up using 2 zip ties. I end up using 1 zip tie to get it all bunched up in a group, and then I actually use another zip tie to fasten it to the actual housing. And in that moment, my mind was thinking, okay, well, the older one was fastened there. Maybe I should fasten the new one there. And I almost did, but then I thought, you know what? No, I can choose a better way. So what I ended up doing was elevating it and zip tying it to the actual connector. So that way it was more elevated, and there's no chance that it's going to get into the water or the blades because of how high it is. Alright, everything's looking good. Let's plug it in, test it out. So when you plug these in, it's going to take a minute or two for the compressor to kick on and for that fan to kick on. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. Look how smooth and beautiful that is. Yeah, we did it. We did it, everyone. Sweet. And now we got this fridge cooling again. You know, sometimes it's just as simple as that. Airflow. You know, if your fridge isn't properly able to dissipate its heat, then it'll overheat and it'll shut down until it can cool down. And that's exactly what was going on with this fridge. It would run for a little bit, you know, maybe a few hours or so, and then it would overheat, so it would have to shut off so it could cool down. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate you. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a comment, and if you want to, go ahead and subscribe. Really trying to build this channel to help people help themselves and show people how to do things. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.